Welcome to Strange Darkness Radio, where the veil between worlds grows thin and the mysteries of the beyond await. As the moon casts its eerie glow and the night's embrace draws near, join hosts Bobby, Washington and Marlee Grounds as they delve into the chilling realms of the paranormal. In the shadows, a shimmering light beckons, leading us into the unknown where senses falter and reality blurs. Amidst the darkness, a spectral figure emerges, her voice a haunting melody, guiding us through the twisted corridors of the supernatural. The toll of the mission bell resonates through the air, a foreboding reminder of the journey ahead. Will it be heaven or hell as we step into the unknown depths? With each flicker of candlelight, sinister shadows dance, revealing the secrets hidden within. Whispers echo down the corridor, tales of the forgotten and the unseen drawing us deeper into the abyss. So gather close, dear listeners, as we embark on another spine-chilling voyage into the unexplained. Welcome to the Hotel California of the Paranormal, where once you check in, you may never check out. Prepare yourselves for Strange Darkness Radio's bonus episode, where the journey into the nightmarish unknown has begun on this dark highway. Let's begin.
Welcome back for another bonus episode, and we actually have someone very special back on the show, and that's why that intro was played. Let's see who we have on tonight's show.
It's Marlee Grounds. I'm back.
Yes, Marlee is back, which is freaking awesome. We do have Ed DonGilli, who is a host also on Strange Darkness Radio bonus episode.
Hello. Apparently not as exciting as having Marlee back, but that's okay. I get it, man. I get it.
Hey, man, you know, you gotta dance with the one you brought.
I hear you.
And yes, I had a whole big thing. Ed kind of killed the vibe for me a little bit, only because he just, again, had technical issues. You know how he does it. Technology doesn't like you, bro. Like, what's the deal?
I think it's from here on out, it'll probably be safer if we start the technical stuff like 6 hours before showtime.
I love it.
And we might get it to man, I don't know, man. But it was stupid. I mean, good thing Marlee was here to guide me through it. I would have been here all night, man. I actually would have said, you know what, Bobby, I'm just coming over to the studio, man. I'll see you in a half hour.
Oh, man, that is too funny. Thanks, Marlee. Again, Marlee comes back, saves the day to help out Ed, which is hilarious. Marlee, what have you been up to?
I mean, it just busy.
Yes,
work, you are. Kids, all that stuff. So I'm glad to be back and podding with you. And
awesome. I did have something planned for you. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and get a strike for this, but I had to play it, even though, like I said, Ed took some steam out of the boat. But yeah, I just want to say to you,
welcome back. Welcome back.
But yes, definitely. Welcome back. Definitely.
Thank you.
Great to have you on the show again. Tonight, we're getting into something that people use every day. Some people don't have a clue about the power of mirrors. So yes, we're going to tackle that. Initially, I was going to do this show, and then I was thinking, you know what? It would be awesome to have you guys on this episode to talk about this particular subject, because I was going to do a little dissertation on it and give people info on the power of mirrors, because again, it's something that we utilize every day in all aspects and all facets of our lives, from driving to waking up in the morning to just to everything. And a lot of people believe that these items have power to them. I'm going to launch this audio that I recorded specifically for this particular episode. Then we're going to get into mirrors. Welcome back to Strange Darkness Radio, where we explore the hidden, the haunted, and the downright unsettling mysteries lurking just beyond the veil. I'm your host tonight, Bobby Washington, and tonight we're diving into a chilling realm of reflections and shadows. Mirrors. Mirrors are everywhere in our daily lives. But what if they were more than just glass and silver? What if they were gateways to other dimensions, prisons for restless spirits, or conduits for the paranormal and forces beyond? And by the end, you'll never look at a mirror the same way again. Mirrors have long been steeped in superstitions and folklore across cultures. They are often seen as liminal objects, thresholds between the living world and the spirit realm. The ancient Romans believed mirrors could trap souls, while in Chinese traditions, mirrors were used to ward off evil spirits or sometimes to attract them. The idea that mirrors act as portals comes from the fact that they reflect infinite images, creating a kind of endless tunnel of light and shadow. Paranormal experts suggest that these infinite reflections can thin the veil between dimensions, allowing spirits to cross over. There are countless reports of people seeing ghostly figures emerging from the edges of mirrors, or witnessing strange mists and faces that vanish when approached. Some paranormal investigators believe that mirrors can be activated by tragic or violent deaths, turning them into doorways for spirits seeking passage or revenge. Have you ever experienced or heard of mirrors acting as a portal? What do you think that draws spirits to mirrors, specifically? These are questions that you definitely need to ask yourself. Not all spirits use mirrors to travel freely. Some become trapped inside. The belief that mirrors can imprison souls dates back centuries. One famous story involves a 17th century alchemist's mirror said to contain the restless spirit of a woman who died under mysterious circumstances. Attempts to remove or destroy the mirror only intensified the haunting. People report seeing ghostly reflections that don't mimic their own movements, or glimpsing shadowy figures lurking just beneath the glass surface. These trapped spirits sometimes manifest as cold or warm spots near the mirror, unexplained noises, or sudden chills. Some traditions hold that spirits become trapped when they are unable to move on due to trauma, unfinished business, or even curses. The mirrors become their prison, reflecting their anguish back into the world. What do you think causes spirits to become trapped in mirrors? Is it possible to free them, or are they doomed to remain reflections forever? These are the questions that you have to ask yourself. Now let's talk about haunted mirrors you might actually encounter in your own home. Many listeners and paranormal investigators have shared stories about mirrors purchased secondhand from garage sales, thrift stores, or antique shops that brought home more than just new decorations. Common experiences include mirrors that reflect shadow figures, display faces that aren't there, or even seem to move independently of their surroundings. Some people report nightmares, strange noises, or feelings of being watched after bringing these mirrors home. One particular eerie phenomenon occurs when two mirrors are placed facing each other. This creates an infinite reflection corridor, which some believe can amplify paranormal activity or even trap spirits between the reflections. There are documented cases where some homes with such mirror setups experiences escalating hauntings, objects moving, unexplained cold and warm spots, and apparitions appearing in the mirrors. As you look into it, something is looking back at you. If you've ever bought an old mirror, it's worth considering its history. Was it once in a place of tragedy? Was it owned by someone who experienced loss or trauma? Paranormal experts often recommend cleansing rituals or even avoiding mirrors with a dark past. We do have a story from a listener who purchased a mirror from a garage sale. A listener shared how after buying an ornate mirror at a garage sale and placing it opposite of another mirror in the hallway, they began seeing a young girl's reflection standing behind them, only to vanish when they turned around. The spot where she appeared always felt inexplicably warm. How eerie is that? You bring a new mirror in the home, and someone jumps into your mirror from the mirror you just purchased, going back and forth and back and forth. Wouldn't you think you were going crazy? That is creepy. So let me ask you, would you keep a mirror if you suspected it was haunted? How would you handle the paranormal activity linked to an everyday object like a mirror? Questions you should always ask yourself when purchasing items you don't know the history of. If you find yourself with a haunted mirror, let's go through some steps that may help you get rid of that haunting, hopefully. You can cover the mirror, use a cloth or tape to cover the mirror at night or during paranormal investigations to prevent spirits from using them as gateways. I know my parents would cover the mirrors at night, and I never understood why until I was much older. Let's go to cleansing rituals. Salt, sage, smudging, holy water, sound cleansing can help clear negative energy from mirrors. Definitely avoid facing mirrors, especially placing the two mirrors directly opposite of each other, preventing the infinite reflection tunnels. You can also try technology. Thermal cameras and EMF detectors can help distinguish real paranormal heat signatures or electromagnetic anomalies from mere reflections or optical illusions. But if all else fails, you need to hit up an expert. If it escalates, consider consulting a paranormal investigator or a spiritual medium experienced with mirror hauntings. That will definitely help, I hope. Those are some of the things that you can utilize if you find yourself with a haunted mirror. In conclusion, for tonight's brief episode on mirrors, mirrors are more than just reflective surfaces. They're mysterious portals, prisons for spirits, and sometimes unwitting gateways for the paranormal. Next time you glance into a mirror, remember, you might not be alone in that reflection. Here's something I want to leave you with. We were never meant to see ourselves. Man created mirrors. When we look in reflections in the water of ourselves, it's kind of distorted, it's never clear. When we look at ourselves at a frozen ice or something of that nature, it always has a slight distortion to it. But man created mirrors. I wonder why. Were we trapping things in those mirrors? In times of trouble, were we using them as portals to other places? We'll never know. Or will we? When's the last time you truly looked in your mirror?
It's time for a commercial break. We'll be right back. Introducing Popcorn Remix, the ultimate snack for late-night cravings and podcast sessions with Bobby at Strange Darkness Radio. Escape the guilt of sinful snacks with this sweet or savory treat that transforms familiar flavors into popcorn delights. Indulge in the tempting variety, from Charlene's banana puddings to lemon cake, savory lemon and pepper, and incredible jambalaya, featuring over 50 flavors. Each bite is a mysterious encounter, captivating your taste buds like a shadowy figure in the night. Let the popcorn seduce you with its sinful allure, offering an irresistible guilty pleasure with a healthy twist. It's a burst of excitement reminiscent of Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. Popcorn Remix is the popcorn experience that keeps you craving more, as if you've danced with shadows in the moonlight. For this delicious adventure, contact them at info@popcornremix.com or call 678-806-5855. So go to www.popcornremix.com to have a remix in flavors. Now let's get back to Strange Darkness Radio.
Have you guys ever thought about that? How we were not really meant to see ourselves, other than something that we can make to do it?
Yeah, well, that goes back to was the Greek myth of Narcissus, where he looked in a pool, saw his reflection, and drowned. And even back in the days, you weren't even allowed to have like paintings of people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I didn't think about it till you said it, and the fact that mirrors are man-made.
Every time you try to look at yourself, whether it's in water or something of nature, it's always a distorted image. It's not even exact copy of what you're seeing. And again, obviously, because there's all other things that go into it, whether it's because of the surface, because of, how the reflection is. I don't know if it's a thing that has to do with vanity, or like you said, Ed, you just fall in love with yourself. And that's a lot of things that's happening now, even with social media.
Well, see, that's what I was going to bring up as far with mirrors. Even if you don't look at them as a tool for the supernatural,
yeah,
just by what they are, it's a tool for just the natural phenomenon, because we stare at ourselves, and it can, if we allow ourselves, the mirror is just a powerful tool, because it will, if we allow it to help us to dig deeper within who we actually are, cause us to ask questions. We can look at a mirror and kind of take the whole vanity thing and just, try and look good. But when you stare at yourself, it can be a powerful tool to really examine yourself and dig deeper in who you are. I mean, there's a song by Brandi Carlile called "The Story," and the line in it says, "All of these lines upon my face tell the story of who I am." Mm-hmm. And I think instead of just looking at it as a vanity thing, you can look at it as truly, who am I?
Yeah.
What have I been? What am I still capable of becoming? But to do that, you got to make yourself vulnerable to yourself to be able to answer those questions. So, I mean, I guess that's how I look at mirrors, even, like I said, not just being supernatural tools, which they can be, but just the everyday power that they have without even showing any of the supernatural.
Yeah.
Just a powerful tool. Very powerful.
Yeah. So Marlee, have you ever had any strange encounters with mirrors? Were you playing the games that all the kids used to play back in the day?
Man.
Oh.
Oh, you never played any of those Mary, what is say
Bloody
Candyman?
Mary.
Yeah.
You're like, oh gosh.
You never played any of those games?
No. I remember I've still never had a paranormal experience, so.
Yeah.
That you know of.
That's very true.
That is true.
That's very true. She's probably had a lot she just brushed off.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do that. But you never had a mirror incident. I've had a couple. I've had a couple of mirror situations to where, like one time I was walking into a room. It was a dark room. My mom loves old mirrors. For a person like herself who's from Louisiana and believes in all these different things, and again, she does cover mirrors for certain reasons. She'll cover them, not just all the time, and but she'll do it for certain reasons. But it was this really old mirror, and it was pretty big. It was probably like at least 6 feet, and probably about 4 feet wide. It took a lot to even hang this mirror. And I walked by the mirror, and it was, again, dark in the room, and I could have swore that someone peeked out from the side of the mirror, just like with a head and, just looking. And I was like, what? I was like, did I just,
No.
And then, so I go back and I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, there's another wall adjacent to this mirror. So it's not like it's an open doorway or anything like that. And I'm like, okay, that was odd. And then, I brush it off. And at the time I was probably like 18 or something. And I brush it off. And then I'm talking, we're having dinner or something. And I bring it up to my mom. It's like, hey, have you ever had any weird things with that mirror in that one room? And then she's like, yeah, there's somebody in that mirror. I'm like, what do you mean there's somebody in that mirror? She's all, yeah, I bought that mirror from an old lady. She believes that one of her relatives are trapped in the mirror. I was like, Mom, why would you buy that? Why would you buy that? Well, one, I didn't believe her. I thought she was trying to just get me on the price and, having some antique and all this other stuff. And I was like, well, she's all, no, I cleansed the mirror. And so, I haven't had any strange things with it. I was like, well, one, you don't even go into that room half the time. And two, why would you put that big mirror in that room? Well, because I think there might be something in it. I was like,
oh gosh.
So it's weird on the whole mirror concept. But then, that's when we got into the whole thing about don't do this with the mirror. Don't do that. Don't hang a mirror across from each other. People will jump in and out of the mirror and use it as a portal. And, she started explaining all this stuff to me. And the funny
there's
thing
a lot
about
of rules with mirrors, man. There's a lot of rules to follow.
Well, there is, but a lot of people don't follow them. They don't even think about it. It's like they don't think about that at all.
Yeah, like don't even put them in your bedroom because,
Oh, yeah, that's another thing.
No matter what you use them for,
Yep. They say do not put mirrors
cue the erotic
music,
why? Man.
Why don't you put them in your room?
Because someone could be watching you sleep, or the entity in the mirror or the mirror itself could be draining you as you're sleeping. And it depends on how close you're sleeping to it.
Yeah, and there's also it says if you have a mirror in the bedroom, your subconscious can wake up, just before you and become frightened or negative, and it gives off a lot of negative energy, supposedly. They say if you sleep with a mirror under your pillow, you will have dreams of who your future spouse will be.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one that I was like, but then you think,
don't do it, Marlee. Don't do it. Just want to say that.
There's no more future spouses in this.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
And there's also the in Jewish tradition. I think it's the Syrian Jewish tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Says that if you look at a mirror at midnight, you will see your future spouse, but you'll take 10 years off of their life.
What? Wow.
Yeah. The Syrian Jewish tradition. but then a Russian Jewish tradition also says that not to look into a mirror at midnight because a debuk will be there and jump into your soul.
Do you say debuk?
Debuk. Some people say debuk.
Oh, the debux? The debux box?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wherever you put the accent.
Yeah.
Accent on. But yeah, we're not supposed to put them in the bedroom, which kind of can negate the whole, mood vibe thing, I guess, at times. But I guess you pick your poison.
Yeah.
Good time, but negative energy. Good time. Something might jump into your soul.
But also,
it better be worth it, man.
What kind of mirror? Because my dresser came with a mirror. It's actually furniture.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt that has anything living in, as opposed to when I might go buy at the thrift store.
Okay, let's say you buy a mirror at the thrift store. It's a mirror with a dresser, or it's just a mirror that can be hung. And let's say, unfortunately, an older person passed in that room where that mirror was, and their soul actually walked into the mirror thinking they were walking into the light or walking into whatever else, right? And so that's why they say don't buy used mirrors. But now, as far as a mirror that's attached to a dresser that's brand spanking new, right? They say they can be still used as portals for other entities, whether they're demonic, whether they're spirits that travel, that mirrors can still be used as a portal. And especially if I walk by that mirror, and I mean, because think about it. Think about on your phone. Think about when you have a cam set up in your, whether you're doing something from work, you're doing Zoom meetings, you have a cover on you either close your laptop or you have a cover on your cam. There is no cover on that mirror, and you have no clue or even a thought that someone would be watching you. And again, not for lustful reasons. They're watching you for soulful reasons. So, well, that too, but that's into spectrophilia, but that's a show. That's another show. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but when older mirrors, no. But the difference between older mirrors, they've lived in people's homes and things have happened in those mirrors. That's what separates those from just something brand spanking new. But not saying that something still couldn't jump in between that,
Yeah, no doubt.
And you were talking about in the Jewish tradition, but also in the Jewish tradition, mirrors are covered until burials for the reasons that some folklore say that children were not allowed to look into mirrors until they were like 1 year old. And so when people pass away in Jewish homes, they cover the mirrors also. Yeah,
because it's called Shiva, observing of Shiva. So they cover it, and it's also supposed to be because we're not supposed to, it's the concept of vanity being shunned.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be focusing on ourselves. When we're observing Shiva, we're supposed to be focused on the deceased person as well. But so they cover their mirrors. The Jewish people actually have, quite a few different folklore mythology when it comes to mirrors.
Marlee, you've never broken a mirror? Ever?
Ooh.
Ever?
Ooh.
I might have broken like a hand mirror.
Okay.
But earthquake of, was it 88 was the big one?
Oh, okay.
A mirror not fell on me, but it was above a dresser and I was hiding under a desk. Like where it was like an old desk with the drawers on the side.
Yes.
So I was hiding where the chair goes, and the mirror fell onto where I was and broke.
Oh, wow.
Did you bury it?
I was 2 years old. So, but I remember that it was because it was very, I don't know. I remember that happening. And my parents actually, because it went with the bedroom set that my sister and I had, they just had the mirror redone. So I don't know where the pieces went, what happened, if it took my soul with it,
Well, that is interesting because this came from the ancient Romans. They believe that each piece of the fragments holds a piece of your soul. So Breaking One believes you could have a damaged soul. It takes 7 years to heal.
Yeah, because they also believed that it took 7 years for the soul to restore itself. Hence 7 years bad luck.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
See, but it's interesting how throughout all of history, mirrors have always held this superstitious, mysterious place in civilization.
Yeah, for sure.
Which interests me. No matter what, every culture has, their superstition when it comes to mirrors. So, I mean, it kind of tells you that there's probably something to it, man.
I would say so. Marlee, you were going to say?
Well, and I was thinking about it earlier when I was kind of like prepping for the episode. Like, there are so many instances in just like books too, like fantasy books, where there's mirrors. There's in Harry Potter. There's the Mirror of Erised. Shameless plug for Book Talk in ACOTAR. There's the Ouroboros mirror, and it's all about showing either your true self, your true desires, who you really are. So it kind of goes back to what Ed was saying a little bit earlier about, maybe it's not the narcissistic vanity thing, but, who am I? What do I have left? Things like that. So,
because I think it's really powerful if you can stand in front of a mirror and really just stare at yourself and take account and ask them questions, man. Not in a vanity thing, but just really ask yourself deep questions. You could walk away from there just being all depressed, man.
Wow.
Hey, but who was it? Was it your mom that you said was from Louisiana?
Yes.
See, because there's in the Southern culture, I don't know if it's prevalent in all the cultures down south.
Yeah.
But they say when you buy a mirror from a thrift store or a used store, take possession of a mirror that belonged to someone else, you're supposed to take it to a south-flowing river.
Yep.
And wash it.
Yep.
Is it? So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That is one of the things that you can do. But again, these are, I want to say, older superstitions in this day of 2025. A lot of people don't adhere to any of these things and they take it for granted. And there are a lot of people with a lot of different issues, and a lot of it can stem from entities and mirrors, entities that are with you, that are attachments, that are just freaking sucking your soul away, over time. And in that you have a mirror in the bedroom and this thing just visits you every night, drains you, and then leaves, through that mirror. And so I mean, there's just so many things that are possible from things that we used to adhere to and to look out for and watch out for. Not saying that we know that this is true as a factual thing, but what if it is?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think that goes back to, we've talked before about many people no longer even bother looking up. They don't take interest in things other than what is right in front of them. So it's kind of that whole losing our sense of wonder as a human species, which is very boring to me. Very boring to me, man.
That's because you don't like technology. The time that you need to take and use and learn technology, you wouldn't be bored because you wouldn't have no time. But
did you see how stressed I was?
And I solved it just switching a cable.
I know. See, if Marlee wasn't here, I would have just said, you know what, Bobby? I would have thrown my computer and said, I'll be in studio. Give me 30 minutes, man. If something makes you that stressed out, how good can it really be?
Yeah, I know. Serious.
And plus, I got you, Bobby. So,
hey, man,
I just say, hey, Bobby,
I was trying to help you with the harder things other than switching a freaking cable. I was trying to think.
But you see how difficult that is for me. Just a simple cable, man.
Yeah, no, serious. But no, you're right though. In this day and age, and the technology that we have and we have at our fingertips, people truly, we have to see. Honestly, I want you to hear me on this. We have to see with the technology that we have at this point in time and the gadgets and all the things that it brings, how will we be 100 years from now? From this point to 100 years, will we make it? What will our ideas and our belief systems be? We shall see. But one thing we can say, since we were put on this earth, before the last 75 years, we did not have these technologies. And the growth of technology that happened within the last 50 years has been astronomical. And we're still here. We were here all this time. But it seems like things are getting worse as technology is becoming more prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. We rely so much on it. We forget the human instinct.
Yeah.
Again, the sense of wonder. So yeah, I mean, technology can be obviously a wonderful tool, and if used for proper. But I mean, it makes us become lazy, man.
Yes.
It makes us become lazy, and we don't look to discover things, and so. Yeah, that's just my opinion. I'm not saying technology's evil, although it can be. I guess so. I guess I am saying that it is.
Technology, or I should say information flying around at the speeds that it has and is capable of, has its good aspects to it, but it also has its very negative aspects to it that have caused a lot of death and a lot of trauma. And, for things, whether it's things that kids post on social media that have caused other kids to unalive themselves, or a spouse and a wife situation, and this person's talking to that person, this person finds out, it then, ends this situation or causes chaos or drama. So it all has its own craziness. Before it was, I heard it through the grapevine, I'm not sure if this is real, and it took you 5 days to hear about it, and let alone find out if it was true or factual. I mean, there's so many aspects of
but
it.
that also then caused interaction with one another.
Yeah.
Even though it took you 5 days to find out.
Yeah.
Like I said, whereas most people, I guess, find technology exciting, and I can see why.
Oh, I'm a technologist.
Yeah, but I actually find it boring. Only because it does take away from the human interaction. And if I can't have that human interaction, man.
Yeah.
Well, even like relating it back to mirrors. So if we're looking in a mirror, that's supposedly what we look like with all this technology and filters and things.
Yeah.
It's like, do you truly know what you look like until you look into a real mirror?
Wow.
That's true.
That's very interesting.
What is it called? What's that? The filter thing, it's called that people, I can't remember what it's called.
Like on Snapchat?
Yeah, where they make themselves, I mean, if you saw them in real life, you wouldn't know.
Oh, like catfishing people?
Yeah, you wouldn't even know, man.
I have to say about that, just for the record, I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm serious, like until probably a couple months ago. I didn't know people were even doing that, or thought, that it was something, until I was doing something. I think Amy, it was for a show, and I was doing something. She's like, that person doesn't look like that, right? Like, because I was doing something with a photo for a show. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, that's a filter. I'm like, how do you know that? She's like, because I can tell. I'm like, a filter? Why would a person put on a filter just for a photo? Like, so it was odd. And,
well, not even the filters now, but you can get AI to make pictures of you. You just give it a picture and say, make this look XYZ.
Oh,
and
but AI can't improve on me, man.
Wow.
There's no AI program out there, man.
I got to get a laugh track.
No, for
sure.
me, it's, you know what? I would rather see, I want to see people who they really are.
For sure.
Scar, every wrinkle, because again, it tells a story, where you came from, what you've been through, where you think you're going. So that's way more exciting to me.
Yeah, same.
Way more exciting.
Same, but we are older, so, I think the younger community is of the Borg, to where they want to have chips, want to be processed. They want to have, the
assimilate
aesthetics and this, that, and the third. But here's another thing too. Do you know, when you look into a mirror, that it supposedly is not 100% reflection of yourself?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Only because I'm pretty sure the mirrors at clothing stores are different. Because when I tried the clothes on there, they look really good. Bring them home, doesn't look the same. And I'm like, looked really good 4 hours ago.
They look good. You're just being too judgy.
No, there must be something in their mirrors where like, oh, I look a little bit like, thinner. This looks nice. And you bring it home and you're like, that looks like a potato sack on me. What was I thinking?
But yeah, that's what they say. I guess you know how when someone's looking at you and you have an aura about you, because I do pick up on people's aura, and I don't know why, and it's not everyone. It does change to me the way you look or the way you come across to me, I guess I would say. Just based upon that. So yeah, so it is interesting. And again, we look into mirrors so often that a scientist will say, okay, well, that should tell you that none of this is real, because is your soul getting snatched every time you look in your turning, right mirror to turn right or left, you know what I'm saying? Or your rear view mirror. And, but I think it goes more deeper than just that. And I think there are rituals and things that people are capable of doing that are utilized, in certain aspects of whether it's witchcraft or anything like that.
Yeah, even in the scientific community, using mirrors, the Kozarev mirrors. Have you heard of the Kozarev mirrors?
Mm-mm.
He was what's his first name? He was a scientist. His last name was Kozarev, but he was a Russian astrophysicist, I think. And this was back like in the 30s, 40s. But he was a Russian scientist. He was spent years in the gulag, got arrested, that sort of thing. But he came up and they're called Kozarev mirrors, and they're actually made of aluminum and sheets of aluminum. And it's said to be able to, his mirrors were said to be able to bend time and space. If you got into one of them, you could reach like altered states of consciousness, and tap into, they said, the universe's energy. Nikolai Kozarev, Nikolai was his first name. And, but he published a paper on theory of time. And he said he believed that a mirror can be made that can bend anything, including time.
That's interesting.
And he said that time travel was possible through a mirror. Now, granted, his mirrors were aluminum, but still a mirror reflective, powers of reflection.
Yeah.
Which, who was it? It was, I'll think of it. It was another, back in the 1400s, I think. Mathematician. His name escapes me, but he built these huge circular mirrors that would reflect the sun onto the enemy's fleet of ships.
Yeah.
To destroy the enemy's ships. So mirrors, I guess, we think of them as glass.
I don't know if any of those were productive though, because I think they were trying to set them on fire, if I believe. I think how the story went. Yeah.
But the fact that, it's in the mind that, mirrors can be used in reality for scientific purposes. And like I said, those aluminum mirrors being able to be used for what he believed and what people believed could be used to time travel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. Some of the first mirrors were made with like obsidian and mercury and,
yeah,
those types
because,
of materials.
The astrologer in Queen Elizabeth I's royal court, it was Dr. John, not the Dr. John from New Orleans. I can't remember this Dr. John's last name. But he used a black obsidian mirror to summon and talk to angels. And this was back in Queen Elizabeth I's royal court. But he used a black obsidian mirror. to contact angels.
Yeah. If you guys thought your mirror was haunted, would you keep it?
Of course.
No.
You say of course?
I'd take it to Marlee.
Marlee says of course. Marlee says of course.
This mirror, Marlee.
Yeah, I don't think I would keep it. I think I would. I don't know what I would do with it. Because I wouldn't give
Marlee,
it to anyone.
Man.
He said take it to Marlee.
No, I don't like having anything haunted in the house, man.
You've never bought a used mirror?
Yeah, we have. We bought the kind that was attached to like dressers. But both of them are packed in cardboard boxes. They're covered in blankets and packed in cardboard boxes right now.
Yeah.
But we'll probably be getting rid of the dresser and the mirror just because we don't have room for it. So Marlee, if you want to take a chance,
wow.
you let us know.
I kind of want to go to a thrift store and find some mirrors. I got to bring Tasha with me though, because then she can tell me what's going on with it.
Yeah, I wonder. That would be really good question for Tasha too. I wonder, would she keep a haunted mirror?
What's the thing that they say? How you can tell if a mirror is haunted or is holding spirits? Something about if you put your finger on it and there's a space that shows in between.
For a two-way mirror?
I don't know.
Oh.
Something about if you put your finger on the mirror and it shows like the reflection or something shows a gap.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was for two-way mirrors. Like,
is it?
Because that's always in TV shows. Like, is this really a real mirror? Or somebody looking in on my bathroom like that?
No, I think this is what they say to do as well for just a regular mirror. But I don't. Yeah, I thought I read that somewhere. But I don't know. I wouldn't do it.
Wait a minute, you wouldn't
I
do
guess
what?
I wouldn't put my mirror on it to see if it's haunted or whatever. I guess if I felt like I had to put my finger on it to find out, it doesn't need to be in my house. It doesn't need to be
that
there,
finger
man.
might rot off.
No, we got
FYI.
a mirror at the bottom of the stairs, and I just walk by it. I don't well in front of it.
Yeah, I can only find if you obviously see something that's distorted, distorted reflection. If you see figure, stuff like that,
I don't need mirrors to see shadowy figures, man.
But like, how many episodes on like the main pod have you guys talked about where there's something with mirrors? Like the one that stands out, it's that one that was a plantation where the girl, the slave girl supposedly killed them with the oleander flowers, and they see like handprints and her in the mirrors in that house and stuff. So it's like, it goes back. I mean, it tracks with a lot of the things we talk about that, there's mirrors involved or there's objects. So,
Yep, it definitely does. With that being said, I do have 2 stories of haunted mirrors. So let's go ahead and play those and we'll talk about them.
The Victorian Mirror and the Hypnotized Girl. A family received a large Victorian mirror from acquaintances and placed it at the top of their staircase. Soon after, a young girl in the household became obsessed with the mirror. She would stare at it for hours, stopped eating and sleeping, and fell into a hypnotic vegetative state. The family sought help from a local witch doctor who said something from the mirror had taken her spirit, leaving only her body behind. The girl's condition did not improve until the family decided to move the mirror to the basement. During the move, the mirror accidentally shattered. Moments later, the girl began convulsing and tragically passed away. The family was left devastated and deeply unsettled by the connection between the mirror's destruction and the girl's fate.
Now, was that just a coincidence? Or was her soul truly trapped in that mirror?
Probably. I mean...
Yeah, I don't know if I I'd say I probably lean, if not all, pretty close, that I don't think souls can be trapped in mirrors. Not the actual soul.
Yeah.
Because, when we die, blink of an eye, our soul, you're standing in front of Christ for judgment. I don't think, I guess unless you knew you were like a really bad person, you're like, man, I don't want to go. I'm just going to hop in this mirror here.
So you made a conscious effort to hide.
Yeah, trying to hide from God, which we do. Yeah. There's no hiding, man.
I'm going to say, no, in the sense of, okay, do you believe in soul exchanges, or that people make deals on the other side? And Ed, with you, I would say no to any of this, because you're like straight to the Bible text.
You mean like Robert Johnson?
No, that's a deal. That's different.
Singer?
That's different because
devil?
That's a deal with the devil. No. Before you're born, there are what is called soul contracts, right? To where you're like, okay, I'm going to live in this body until I'm 50 years old, and then I'm going to allow someone else to take over this body, and I'm going to leave. And then when this other person comes and takes over that body at 50, that person becomes a totally different person. I've had someone I've known for over 18 years become a totally different person, and to where I get a totally different vibe from them. It's like not the same person. It's so weird. And I truly believe that happened to them. And, they made that deal, and they are now, this other person has actually taken over them. And a lot of people that we all know, I don't really say that to. They just say that person is not the same person. I don't mean it's nothing to do with drugs or just the small changes. These are just, you just know. It's hard to explain.
But
it's
what makes you think that it's a soul contract and not like just a demonic oppression?
Because it's not nothing bad. It's not bad. It's just the person, how the person is.
It doesn't have to necessarily be bad, I guess.
Well, there's nothing evil about it. There's nothing that would lend to, if anything, the person's more at peace with themselves and not as, they just were before. I don't know how to explain it. They just don't come off as the same person. It's a
but
different...
if I'm a demon, don't I want to hide though of who I truly am?
Well, that's
so
going into
deception, that sort of thing. I'm just saying how to,
when you say demon,
contract,
that comes into nefarious, that comes into just, oppression, being able to feel some type of negative energy. That is not what this is whatsoever. It has nothing.
See, that's always where I kind of fall on, is rather than any of the other like soul contracts.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in demonic oppression, that we can attract demonic activity to us. And
yeah, but that's not, again, who knows if soul contracts are real, but in the sense of how they're told, they are deals that you do yourself. Supposedly, before I came to this earth, I said, this is the life I want to lead. I want to have this experience regardless of how bad it is. I'm actually setting myself up for it, because this is just an experience I want. And then every time I go back, I set up different experiences to, I've never had a breakup to where I, was X, Y, and Z happened. I never had a job to where I just had to work in the coal mines for whatever, blah, blah, right? It's just a life that you supposedly set yourself up ahead of time, and you do. And then, you agree to that, and then you just keep, as you're doing it, you don't realize it, because obviously you did it before you did the deal.
I would have to fall on that. I wouldn't, because again, to me, before you were born, I knew you, I formed you. It's not up to us to sit there and say, I want this life.
Well, yeah, that's what is said in the book, but again, You know,
Yeah.
we don't know, but that goes into the thing about, you know, with mirrors and souls, you just don't know. It's like when you go to sleep at night, and that's another reason why people say don't have mirrors in the room. And you are a vivid dreamer, or you actually leave your body when you dream. Some people float up to the ceiling, some people float outside of their home, but some people will float into a mirror, and then they will become stuck in that mirror. And they'll be trying to find their way out, and but their soul or their persona, however you put it, can't get back to their body.
Right. Yeah. I've heard about that.
Yeah.
You still want the mirrors from our house, Marlee?
Yeah. No. All right.
But I heard about. Yeah, I don't.
So I don't know.
I've had mirrors in the bedroom before. You know, the only mirror we have in there now is one that's attached to a dresser, and it's on it can turn the whole way around.
Yeah.
So at night we can
side.
turn it to face.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it can face the wall. I don't know.
We should do a test to where we just put a camera on a mirror and then let it sit there on that mirror and just record for like a day or two.
Not at my house, man.
No. It doesn't matter the house, man. It just,
yes, it does.
What are you afraid of? If you know.
Oh, I'm
Does
not
your mom
afraid of
have any
anything.
mirrors we could borrow?
Yeah, actually, she has even those
Not the
little
haunted
round
one.
oval.
Not the haunted
well,
one.
they,
Man.
dude, they're probably all haunted because they're all old. They're all antiques.
Yeah.
She doesn't even have like a new mirror probably in the last like 40 years. They're all old mirrors. But no, just to put a camera on it, and then the camera, and again, it still creates that infinite. The camera will start creating that infinite loop.
Reflection to reflection.
Yeah. And that would be interesting. All right, let's play another story.
The man in the 1940s suit. In another chilling account, a group of friends were sitting in a living room with an old creepy mirror hanging on the wall. Suddenly, one of them noticed a man dressed in a 1940s style suit and hat sitting in a chair that had just been empty. The man had a beard, didn't speak, and didn't acknowledge anyone in the room. He simply stared ahead. After a minute or two, he faded away. What made the experience even more unnerving was that another friend in the room saw the apparition as well. The sighting left everyone shaken, convinced that the mirror had served as a portal for the mysterious figure to appear. These stories highlight the enduring fear and fascination surrounding mirrors as potential gateways for the paranormal.
Again, I don't want to freak people out about mirrors, but at the end of the day, remember that mirrors have the potential to maybe do something a little strange every now and then.
Again, I mean, it seems like throughout history, there's always been something with mirrors.
Yeah.
Always. And so, I mean, that story there, I mean, I could see something like that happening. Some dude coming through the mirror, sitting down, cracking open a Guinness. But if he said, "How's it going, Ed?" I'm out of there, man.
But like, isn't the Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, like she went through a mirror, like that whole thing. So obviously they've known about it for a couple centuries, or had an idea.
And who was it? Snow White?
Magic mirror on the wall.
Yeah.
The evil queen.
Yeah. So there you go. Freaking Walt Disney, man.
Dang. Don't talk about Walt. But yeah, no, again, it's all interesting because at the end of the day, these are items that we use and we don't think to, giggles about it one way or the other. If anything, you leave late because you're getting ready and you're using a mirror. Like a mirror sucks and steals so much of your time that you don't truly realize it. And And it's just so interesting. And, you know, a lot of this we just take for granted because we use it as a tool to, whether we're just getting ready, whether we're checking on something, whether we're, you know, again, we want to look our best. But I just wonder who's always peeking back at us, you know, from the other side of that mirror, if they're even doing that. But
well, again, the scariest person looking back is yourself.
Yeah,
that's my thought on mirrors.
Yeah, no, that's
like I said, I think they're powerful just for what they are.
Yeah.
Not to say that all of the other things aren't capable. You know, the portals and all that. I mean, again, different cultures throughout time have went through means to cover up mirrors, to be warned about mirrors. So yeah, Archimedes, that was the name of the mathematician.
Oh, okay.
That did the thing. Sorry, I had to get that out. Because some of our listeners might have been sitting there saying, "Man, I wish Ed would tell me who that mathematician was."
But yeah, they say who knows if it was possible or ever happened or whatever. But they would use mirrors as portals to jump, you know, from one place to the other, even just via locations.
Yeah.
Well,
Time
it's in
travel.
so many like horror movies and stuff too, and just movies in general.
Yeah.
You know, people stuck in mirrors and
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
What if you were stuck
Mirrors,
in a mirror,
paintings,
in your own
people
home?
getting stuck in paintings? Oh
Yeah.
man, that would just be horrid.
I feel like that was like a storyline for like an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode from when I was a kid, where somebody was stuck in a mirror and they like they were trying to get the person to help them out, but
Yeah.
But how would you know? I mean, man,
You're just on the
no.
glass.
I've
saying,
always though
"Help
had
me."
yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, no.
or if we're gonna go back to Walt Disney, just a thought, because I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
When in The Little Mermaid, when Ursula changes into like the beautiful woman and she's looking in the mirror, it's Ursula, but that's the reflection.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
That was her true self. She was,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Let me tell you, if I was walking past the mirror and I heard somebody say, "Help me," I'd say, "You know what? You got to wait till I take you over to Marlee and ask her to help you." Man.
Wow. You'd probably break the mirror. You'd probably or at least bury it in the backyard or something.
To be honest, I mean, I've always had a, not a fear of mirrors, but a questioning respect of mirrors, if that makes sense. Because they don't seem like normal. They don't seem like, they just don't seem like normal.
Again, man-made.
Yeah, exactly. They don't seem like they should be, because really we do use them mostly just for our own vanity.
I could see
our
you
own
staring in front of a mirror to my, why don't you like me?
Yeah. Come on, man.
Oh man.
No, it's a great tool to sit and stand and just.
I've never done that.
We talked earlier.
Honest.
Really?
No, I've
you
never
haven't
done
stood in front of a mirror and just had thoughts of, man, you know, what can I change to become a better person? And really, you haven't asked like deep questions, because they say people that do that are very highly intelligent. I'm not just saying that because I do. But,
oh man,
no, it's a great point.
But yet he couldn't figure out how to get the chord right.
See, but I was intelligent enough to know that I couldn't do it, and had Marlee tell me. So I was intelligent enough to listen to Marlee when she said, "Just switch the chord around."
Wow, that is too funny.
No, it is, but that's how I've always looked at mirrors, man. Is a tool, not just to get yourself ready, but really as a tool to reflect of who we truly have been.
Yeah.
Who we really are and what we can actually become. So I look at it like that, as more of a powerful tool to really explore who we are.
Maybe we'll do that. Maybe the listeners will pull up a mirror and have a conversation with themselves. And,
we all should. We all should. If it was up to me, we'd all do that, man. Because some people get really uncomfortable staring at themselves and having to ask them questions.
Well, Ed, a lot of them don't do that in the nude. They actually are wearing clothes when they're doing that.
Hey. You know,
you might want to try to
I'm
put
still
on
a man
shirt.
of comfort.
Yes. You would be a nobleman from back in the day. I can see that.
No, I would be. I would be a troubadour, man. I'd be one of those dudes that go around singing and reciting poetry and, hanging out at the local
DonGilli.
pub, that sort of thing, man. That's it.
Maybe that was your past life. One of them.
Maybe. But yeah, that's what I would be. Wow. I think that would be so cool.
Hey, so when we go to Ione, and hopefully Marlee can make it, because we're talking about another haunted tour.
Preston Castle?
Yes, which he doesn't do ghost tours, just FYI. But he'll go to a ghost bar. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'll sit at the
Haunted
saloon
bar.
and wait for y'all to finish your ghost tour.
I guess we're going to, was it Nevada City,
but
Grass Valley? Is that where the...
It's out in Ione.
No, but there's some places in Grass Valley or
there is. Yes,
the old
there
hotel. Yep.
Yeah, there is the historic. We were there at Christmas time. We went down. They had the Miracle Bar, which is a Christmas themed bar, that pop-up bar in different cities.
Yeah.
But this year they had it up in Grass Valley at the historic hotel.
Oh,
yes,
down in their basement. It was down in their basement.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I would love to go in their basement.
Yeah. It's cool. But I dig historic hotels, man.
Yeah.
Especially when they have the saloons. Oh man. I think they are so relaxing to, sit, have a drink in. But yeah, if y'all to go do the Preston thing, I'll wait in the saloon. And if you're not back by a certain time, I'm not coming for it, just so you know.
Dang.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, in the fence, the Preston Castle has that fence. I'll wait down there at the end of the fence. And if I see you run, I say, come on, Bobby. Come on, man. You can make it. Come on, Marty. You got it.
Dang. But no, a lot of bars have old mirrors, and it would be cool to, yeah. Yeah,
because, and it's the one down in Ione at the hotel saloon has the full-length big mirror behind the bar.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. I said it's really cool. On Saturdays they have the older gentleman that comes in, plays the piano.
Oh, okay.
And it's supposedly haunted by a ghost named George, as well. And they have books on, their history, some haunted places, that sort of thing. But it's just a really cool place to sit, have a drink, talk. And the restaurant there is really, really good as well. And then Preston Castle sits kind of just right behind it up the hill a ways.
Yeah. Marlee, have you ever done any investigations at Preston Castle?
No, I've always wanted to go, though.
So close.
Well, there you go,
so
Bobby.
Close.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get
you know me. I'm all
there.
down for all the haunted places.
Yes, for sure. That'll be fun. But we definitely are going to hit those a couple of those places up. For sure. So again, closing out tonight's episode on haunted mirrors. I don't know. I would just say be safe. What would you guys say to our listeners about mirrors?
I mean, I would say what I've been saying. Use them, use them for your own benefit, man. But also, don't be doing the things that they say. No, don't be testing it out. The whole thing. Yeah, no, don't stand in front of the mirror. Don't look at the mirror at midnight to see if something happens. Well, what's with some of the other ones? You're not supposed to look at a mirror in the dark by a candle light. Oh, because they say you will see the specter of a loved one in the mirrors. Yeah, so
we should get Marlee to do that. Marlee would be up for that. Do it on video.
Always. Yeah, I will. Yeah, you know me. I'm down to do anything.
But yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. Mirrors are interesting. Different cultures obviously believe that they held power. And again, I do think they hold power.
Yeah.
I just don't think it has to be supernatural. Not that it can't be.
Yeah. Yep. What about you, Marlee?
I mean, I would just say caution when going to estate sales and thrift stores, because I feel like those older mirrors are the ones that, if they are going to cause any trouble, those are the ones. So,
yes, for sure.
Yeah.
And I just have to end with this. For those of you who do not believe this, when you stay in a hotel and you're having an intimate situation, you might be having a Diddy freak off by who's watching from that mirror. So you never know. On that note.
Some people might be into that though, man. They bring their own mirrors to the hotel.
No, but you know, you don't think about that, because here's the thing. A lot of hotels don't disclose when a person's died in a particular room.
True.
And
Right.
they don't disclose when someone's committed suicide in a room. And what do they have in all those rooms? Mirrors.
mirrors.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I'd rather have a freak off than have a person with a hole in their head looking at you.
So cover, So cover any mirrors when you walk into the hotel.
Exactly. Yep.
Just to be safe. Unless you're into that sort of thing, then you can leave it uncovered.
Yes.
There we go.
And on that note, we are out.
We've had a fantastic time on tonight's bonus episode of Strange Darkness Radio, and we appreciate you joining us. If you have your own strange and eerie experiences to share on our show, please reach out to us via email at strangedarknessradio@gmail.com or by calling our hotline at 916-741-3032. We're eagerly awaiting your stories. Please leave a review and subscribe. Join us at the Hotel Paranormal. Until next time.